It's your boy MaviXO, and it's time to get into this next video. If you saw my last couple of videos, you know I struggled. And when I say I struggled, I pretty much face planted, had an all-out fail. You know, it just won't good. You know, go and take a peek at that video. Go ahead and get your laugh in, because Lord knows I did. But fast forward, it's time to get to those ends. I can't stand it no more. They got to go. We got to ship them out. We got to put them on the bus to nowhere, because at the end of the day, we're not going to keep them around. And so as you see, my hair is pretty much already washed, conditioned, you know, leave-in conditioned, and I actually blow dried it because the best way to do a trim is on partially straightened or straightened hair. You can do it curly, don't get me wrong, but if you tend to wear your hair straighter or in straight styles, I'd say straighten it first, or at least blow dry it first, because you'll get much better results. And so I went ahead and, like I said, blow dry my hair. Ski is fairly long, you know, get into PF. You know, you can kind of see what I'm talking about here, you know. All this right here, this part right here looks healthy, but as soon as you get down to the end, they just look a little scraggly. You know, that's probably the reason why my hair is just, it ain't been doing right, you know. It ain't been how I used to be. It's not, y'all, please forgive me. I just got off work and I am tired. You know, even my dang old camera is crooked. You know, so I'm just trying to make it do what it do. I'm just trying to keep this content coming, you know. We're just trying to make something happen. But like I said, if you saw my last couple of videos, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Go ahead and get your laugh in now, because honestly, I did. Today, we're going to bring it back up to speed. We're going to bring it back up to how we normally have it. You know, looking cute, looking fancy, you know, getting all of our stuff together. But that's pretty much what it is. I'm going to give myself a somewhat heavy trim, because I'm going to try to get all the dead ends out, honestly. I'm going to try to retain as much length as possible, so it ain't like I'm going to go up to here. Never that. You know, but more than likely, all this right here is going to be cut off. And so just to show y'all what my hair looks like before I get started, because I'm going to take y'all with me, take y'all on this ride. Pretty much comes down to a little bit lower than nipple. I say rib cage, you know, these are my nipples right here. Yeah, I'm a fool. But yeah, it's pretty much a little bit longer than that. This is how I'm gonna tell how long it is, because honestly, I don't have one of those measure me shirts, or whatever you call it, length check shirts. And so this is how I'm gonna do my length check. You know, we are a little bit below nipple length now, so when I trim it, it'll probably be just above it. Like I said, I'm gonna get rid of all this right here, and I'm gonna even it up a little bit. I do have like a little short patch in there. I'm gonna show you the back. You probably see the little the area that I'm talking about. You know, it seems like the size of my hair over here tend to grow longer than most. And so my hair, if I pull it down, it is mid back front. You know, I use it on front. My hair is straight, or my head is straight. You know, you saw in the last video when I did my start to finish in less than 10 minutes silk press. I trimmed my mom's hair, so her hair is perfect. You know, we just got to get mine looking like hers. And so before we go ahead and get into anything further, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe so I can take more of y'all on this ride. But let's get into it. Quick disclaimer before I get myself and y'all in trouble. I am not licensed, so if y'all decide to take a pair of scissors to y'all head, it's on you. But if you're not comfortable, go to somebody who's trained. Go to somebody professional. Don't blame me, because I ain't the one who told you to do it. I'm showing you what I do for me. Okay? Right. So here we are in the Mavi cutting studio, aka my bathroom, because I'm not gonna get my room dirty and have to vacuum and do all that stuff, when easily I can just cut my hair over the sink or over the full bathroom floor and then sweep it up. And so what I've already done, as you can see, is I section my hair off. I have a total of 5 sections, if you will, but I probably will separate them a little bit just to cut it properly, just to make sure I'm trimming all the necessary ends. But we're gonna see. You know, and then basically what I do, I'm just combing it all out. And if you have a good blow dryer and you've blow dried it enough, it should be fairly easy. So what I do, just to go ahead and get started, let me show you how I do it. So I basically start in the center, because that typically will be the shortest part. That typically will be the shortest part of your hair, and that's where you want to start. Start with the center, and then work my way to the sides, and then I'll work up on the back, and then I'll do the sides, make sure those are all even, and then I'll work my way up here. And so we're going to start. And then the easiest way to tell where you need to cut at is You get your hair fairly straightened, and you see all of those little scraggly pieces right here. You want to get rid of all that. Now, this way, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So let's just say this was straight across the back. And then you get down to the ends. So you see where it kind of starts to lighten up a little bit, like in this area right in here. That's where you want to cut, you know. Again, your hair is dead, so you don't really need to be worried about, you know, saving those dead ends, because at the end of the day, more dead ends means more breakage. And it's not the normal breakage to where it just, you know, cuts off the end or just breaks off the end. No, it typically breaks up the shaft. And so even though this little bit may need to be trimmed off, this much will break off. Keep that in mind. And so we're gonna get started. You know, during this process, I might not talk as much, but hey, we're gonna see. You know, and then if you're again afraid, you know, of cutting your hair, I've been cutting my hair my entire life. I'm actually afraid to have somebody else do it. You know, you do what works best for you. In all honesty, this is a no judgment zone or a judgment free zone. You know, so if I see people hating, trust me, I'm gonna come at you. And so we're just gonna start the trim process. You know, again, I said I was gonna go in fairly deep or fairly heavy, so I'm just gonna cut off anything like all this. Cut it off. See? Cut it all off. And of course, try to make it as even as possible. You see that? So that little bit right in here, cut it off. And then I have my mirrors here, but my camera's here. So if you see me looking in two different areas, that's why. All right. And then once you do the center, you need to move to the sides. Now, as I've stated many times before, the sides of my head tend to be the longest. So I will be cutting off a lot there. You can see that. Let's see, this is what we do. So once you actually cut the center part, I suggest parting it in the center here, and then picking up the entire side or whatever you're comfortable with. And then you follow along. And so if you follow your hair properly, you can see the short part and the long part. We're gonna cut all that off. Again, it's hair, it will grow back, so please do not be afraid to trim your hair. You know, it will benefit you in the long run. Trust and believe. So I'm just gonna go to town. And then when I get to this point, it's easier for me just to trim like this. Because again, I can tell where I need to cut. All that coming off. You know, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna work around our entire head. And then once you finish that first layer, you definitely want to go in smaller layers, working from bottom to top. As you can see, I have parted my hair in fairly large sections, but I do separate it into a smaller section just to create a more finite layer. Again, you want to work from bottom to top, ensuring that all of those layers are even all the way across. I start with the center and then work my way to the sides, because the center is typically the shortest part of your hair. But as long as you start there, you can ensure that the layer will be even all the way across. And then you just continue that process all over your head until you get to the top or the crown, and then kind of do that same process at the top of your head, but you more so work from, you know, again, center to left and right, or that's the way I do it. And so just get into it. And so once you finish cutting the hair horizontally, I like to go back in vertically. Number one, to add layers, and then number two, to cross check. And cross checking is basically making sure that no matter how you part the hair, it's even all the way across. You know, we don't like any scraggly pieces, and we definitely don't want any unnecessary bulk in the hair. And bulk is basically, you know, when the hair hangs, it just feels heavy at the ends. If you ever run your hands down a ponytail or down your strands and it just seems like there's too much hair at the end, that's what we call bulk. And so you definitely want to remove that. Number one, it'll make the hair a lot lighter. It'll allow it to flow more, and then also it'll create a beautiful shape to the hair. You know, we definitely are beyond the ages of cutting the hair straight across. You know, it's 2020 now, so you want to make sure you have some flow. You want to make sure you have some style, and we definitely want to apply layers all the way around, unless you want straight hair all the way down. Don't get me wrong, some people do still like it. I'm not one of those people. And so as you can see, I part my hair from top to bottom, and then I just go back in and I get all of those unnecessary ends that may have not laid properly or may have not been cut to the same length as they should be based on the layers that are underneath, you know, because each layer is technically a different length. And so you go back in vertical wise just to even up those layers, make it a seamless haircut, and then also get those scraggly pieces out. We definitely don't want no hangers on after we should have, you know, cut them out. And so that's what we're doing. So get into it. And then just so y'all can see how much hair I actually cut off, because I know it seemed like I cut off a lot, but honestly, that's it. These are all my dead ends. Yeah, so I'll clean up my brush a little bit, so I may have some long pieces in there, but honestly, that's it. You know, if your hair is uneven, you want to even it up as much as you can. So some of the pieces are going to be a little bit longer, some pieces are going to be shorter, but all in all, it's going to make your hair healthy. And that's the end result. You always want healthy hair. And so, peace and love.